Hi, this is Yolanda Vanveen, and in this segment we're going to talk about how to keep a dozen roses fresh. Now, anyone that's received a dozen roses knows the feeling that you get when you smell them. And they're just so beautiful, and it's just such a treat to get flowers. But once you have them in your house, the question is, how do I make them last longer? Well, there's a few tricks that you can use to get your roses to last a little bit longer. So first thing that I do when I get the roses is I make sure and change out the water every 2 to 3 days and give them fresh water. You can add bleach, you can add aspirin, but all that is doing is making the water stop from going bad and slimy. So if you actually change out the water and give them fresh water, in the end, that's what the roses want. And another trick too with roses is cut them under the water. So fill a dish with water and actually cut the stems 1 or 2 inches underneath the water. And that way, the roses will soak up the water, not the air. And even though you take them out of the water, put them in the vase, they're still got water in the stem and not air. And they seem to last a lot longer that way. And I always kind of look through my roses too, and I clean them up. So a lot of times they won't look good, but you'll notice it's just a few petals. So if you just pull off a couple of the petals that are turning brown, you'll notice that you still can get a lot of time out of them, even 1 or 2 more weeks. I've already had these a week. So for roses, that's pretty good in the middle of winter. And they seem to last a lot longer that way. I've noticed too, here and there, I get a droopy rose. And a lot of times this happens because the roses have been in a cooler for a long time, and as soon as they get into the warm air, they don't really soak up water or anything, they just droop. A lot of times when they're shipped in from South America, you'll get a lot of droopy ones. So you can try to cut the stems and you can try to freshen them up, but a lot of times once they droop, that's it, they're gone. So the most important thing that you can do is actually cool them down when you're gone. So find this coolest room in your house, or even outside if it's the winter time, but don't let them freeze. So if it's a warm summer day and the house is really warm but the basement is cool, keep them down in the basement when you're at work. Or if it's the winter time and the house is really warm but outside it's not freezing yet, it's still cool, then put them out on your deck or just under the eaves or somewhere outside where they can stay cool. Because it's just like put them in a cooler. And that way, a lot of times you can get 1 to 2 weeks more out of them just by keeping them cool when you're not around. And then just put them back in the house when you get home, and that way you can enjoy them for a longer period of time.